And so our babies, we call them Wakayaja. They are a gift from the Creator. And so our Wakayajas are named and identified that because they are not gender specific yet. They haven't decided how they want to live their life. And that's what's really cool about this. And so when you understand coming here as what we call a wanagi, we come here as a spirit. And then our soul is created. And then we're gifted a sichun. This is a gift to share with the people. And so then we come out and we share something very sacred. And we call this wonye. Wonye is our breath. We are gifted life. And so these are our baby hampas. And so these little relatives we call Wakayaja once again. They are gifts from the Creator. When they're about 4 or 5, that's when they're gifted their spirit name, and then they take off on their next journey. And are they going to be live that life as a young man or as a young woman? And so that's how special that is. And so by the time you're 4, we understand the personality and the attributes and characteristics of our little ones. And so even our young men who live as women, we're like, okay, go with the women. And then you start to learn and live that way. Same with our wiyans, our young ladies. If they have more masculine traits, then they go with the men. And they learn how to hunt and how to track. And so that's how important and special that is. And so once again, our babies can't walk yet. And so it's common for us to bead the bottom soles of these hampas. Because once they start walking, they actually wear off the beads that are man-made. And so once they wear them off, then they're placed back on the earth and ready to start their next journey. And so we're understanding the stages of life because the baby hasn't learned how to walk yet. And that's how special these are. And so it's common for Umaha people to actually put little holes in their moccasins because they want the Creator, they want that death that lurks around each and every one of us to kind of bypass that little individual and have kind of pity on that little one. Like, oh, look, that little baby has holes in her mocks, And so these are stories we pass on. But when you look at our beadwork, we come, together as what we call ikchia wichasha or ikchia wiya. And these are just common people. And so another characteristic, a trait that has been passed down is to not make our beadwork perfect. Just like these, because there's misplaced beads in the bottom of these souls. And so once again, we're showing our humbleness that way. And that anybody and everybody can make mistakes. And so one thing I never come off as is an expert on anything. This is a way of life. And so this was gifted to me that I identify as cultural knowledge. And so it's up to you as individuals. Do you want to sit down and listen to the old people tell their stories? Because these are the messages that you'll be gifted. And so I've spent 36 plus years chilling out, hanging out with grandmas and grandpas that have been willing to share these stories. And so this is why and how I travel the way I do today. And so once again, there's a lot of stories that coincide with all of our hampas. And you look at the different colors even, because we acknowledge once again the innocence and the purity of the white. We acknowledge that blue, that we say to. To is the skies and it's the water and how important that is. We identify uchimaka, which is the earth, which is that green color, because of how beautiful the earth is. Because underneath the land surface is grandpa. And that's why it's a huge rock, no emotions. And so that's our grandpas, And so grandma had to come over to help and beautify the place. And that's why we call this place Uchimaka. And so that red, we call this luta. But there's another word for red that we call sha. Sha is like a plant. It's blood. It's something that's alive. And that's how important sha is to us. And so Sha has a soul. And so we have a very special plant that exists. Even here along the Missouri River in Omaha, Nebraska, we have a plant that they call dogwood today. I call it chanshasha. Cha is because it's the wood. Sha is because the outside of the bark is red. You remove that bark, underneath the pulp is red. That's why it's cha, sha, sha. And this is our natural tobacco. And you very carefully scrape all that off, and when you get to that white willow, you stop. And so what we do with chanshasha is, this is one of our natural tobaccos that we mix, that we use in our chanumpas, our pipes. And so that's how special that is. And so once again, you know, our colors that exist are very powerful, and that Sha and Luta is our most powerful color that we incorporate into all of our, what we call it, Wichon. Wichon is our ceremonies. And so all of our medicine bundles, our pipes, everything that we need, our instruments or tools, are wrapped up in something that's red, and that's how important that is. And so it just coincides with everything that exists. So that's what's really cool about that.